Hey everyone, so today I wanted to talk to you about the peace that comes from God. And I want to start out by reading a story in the Bible that's in Mark chapter 4, verses 35 through 41. And it says, Jesus calms the storm. As evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let's cross to the other side of the lake." So they took Jesus in the boat and started out, leaving the crowds behind, although other boats followed. But soon a fierce storm came up. High waves were breaking into the boat, and it began to fill with water. Jesus was sleeping at the back of the boat and his head on a cushion. The disciples woke him up, shouting, "Teacher, don't you care that we're going to drown?" When Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Silence, be still." Suddenly the wind stopped, and there was a great calm. Then he asked them, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" The disciples were absolutely terrified. "Who is this man?" they asked each other. "Even the wind and the waves obey him." And so there's three points that I want to make from this story. The first one is that the disciples were doing the same thing that they had done 1,000 times. The second one was that Jesus calmed the storm. And the third one he said was to have faith. And so the disciples, a lot of them were fishermen, and they had fished on the Sea of Galilee a lot of times. That was their job. They had been in storms on the Sea of Galilee, but this time there was a bad storm that came in that they were at risk of dying and losing their life. And they panicked, and they went to Jesus, which was great and the right thing to do. But we can do the same thing in our life. So we might just be going about our everyday life, and we're doing our mundane task, or just doing the same thing that we do every day. And then all of a sudden something changes. Maybe our health isn't as good as it once was, or something happens with our job, or a friend or a family member. Life just changes, and we panic. And we're scared of the unknown, and we get that unsettling feeling in our chest or in our stomach that just makes us scared of what's going to happen next, because we don't know the future and we don't know how it's going to turn out. But the next part of the story goes to Jesus, because as we are Christians, we don't have to live in the fear and the panic of the unknown and the uncertainty. We can turn to Jesus and ask him to help, just like the disciples did. And so in the story, it says, let me find my place. It says, Jesus was sleeping at the back of the boat with his head on a cushion. So he's just laid back there, relaxed. He's all comfy. He probably feels like he's on a waterbed, just the waves taking him back and forth. His head's all soft. There's no worry that he has. And why? Why isn't he worried? Because he has faith. He knows that he is the Son of God. And in the same way, when we're Christians, we're a child of God. And all we have to do is have faith and trust that Jesus will handle the situation. And we have to relinquish the control of the situation and give it to God. And know that Jesus has our best interests at heart, that he has good things planned for us, and that there will be good that comes out of the situation, because God uses all things for his glory. And so I wanted to read another verse for you. In John 8:12 of the New Living Translation, it says, Jesus spoke to the people once more and said, "I am the light of the world. If you follow me, you won't have to walk in darkness, because you will have the light that leads to life." So our children, are often scared of the dark. And when I think of darkness, I think of the unknown, fear, anxiety. You don't know where to step because it's dark. But Jesus is our light. And so if we turn to him and we give him control of our anxiety or our fear, and whenever anxiety and fear are coming up inside of us, all we have to say is silence, be still in Jesus' name, and ask Jesus to take it from us, because he gives us that authority to use his name to make those feelings go away. And so I hope that you have found this helpful today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Okay, bye.